stretching 1,500 miles from Ladakh through Nepal, Tibet and Bhutan. The Himalayas is the birthplace of the Yeti.
Mallerie dreamed of being the first man to climb Everest. He and his fellow climber were last seen 800 feet below the summit.
Mount Everest reigns as Earth's pinnacle in the majestic heights of the Mahalangur Himalayas, where the thin air carries whispers of eternity. Towering at over 29,000 feet, this giant graces the skylines of Tibet and Nepal. Named after Sir George Everest, the British surveyor-general, it symbolizes nature's awe-inspiring beauty and unyielding challenges. Yet beyond its breathtaking heights lies a realm of mysteries, leaving us both surprised and shocked. Today, we will unravel the secrets of Mount Everest, sharing the most mysterious incidents that defy explanation and scare even scientists, so stay with us till the end. Number 15. Sherpas attack Everest climbers. The incident occurred close to Camp 3 at a staggering altitude of 24,500 feet, marking a disturbing chapter in the history of Everest expeditions.
I think the Sherpas are taking matters into their own hands. They're holding a big meeting at base camp.
A heated dispute erupted when 17 Sherpas accused the climbers of endangering their lives by dislodging ice, while the guides set up crucial ropes for the ascent. This disagreement escalated into chaos, with reports suggesting that a crowd of 100 Sherpas confronted the climbers after they retreated to Camp 2. At Camp 2, the situation took a violent turn as the Sherpas allegedly resorted to physical assault, punching, kicking, and even throwing rocks at the climbers. The threats reached an alarming level, with the Sherpas reportedly warning the climbers that they would be killed unless they abandoned their Everest quest. The expedition involved seasoned climbers with previous Everest triumphs, including Italian Simone Moro and Swiss Ueli Steck. Jonathan Griffith, a British climber and photographer, was also part of the group. Moro, recounting the incident on his website, explained that the Sherpas claimed the attack was retaliation for the climbers knocking ice onto a Sherpa below. However, no evidence of such an injury has surfaced. Eyewitnesses described the scene as terrifying, emphasizing the danger faced by the climbers during the alleged assault at Camp 2. Nepali authorities are probed into what has been labeled the highest brawl in world history.
For the climbers that they're bringing here, making sure that they are properly vetted, they have enough experience.
Number 14. Massive poop. As the Everest party ends, a colossal mess is left behind, not just in terms of discarded tents and oxygen cylinders, but a genuinely alarming amount of human waste. The record-breaking influx of climbers last season, estimated at around 700, has created a cleanup nightmare for the government crew wrestling with the aftermath on the world's highest peak. Despite the budget-friendly expedition companies charging as little as $30,000 per climber, corners are cut, and waste removal takes a hit. The mountain, already marked by depleted oxygen cylinders and discarded ropes, now serves as an unintended signpost, showcasing the scale of this season's environmental crisis. At the heart of the issue lies South Col, or Camp 4, the highest campsite just below the summit at 8,000 meters. Tents are strewn across the area due to the high winds at that elevation. The challenges of bringing down these massive items from such precarious heights are compounded by altitude, oxygen levels, and treacherously icy slopes. Dawa Stephen Sherpa, a key figure in Everest cleanup efforts, describes the conditions at South Col as daunting, emphasizing the difficulty in addressing the waste problem in such extreme circumstances.
Biggest threat to the Himalayas, everything within it, including the people that reside there.
Campaigners estimate that around 8,000 kilograms of human excrement were left at Camp 2 during last year's climbing season alone. With rising temperatures and thinning glaciers, climbers often resort to makeshift toilets, creating a potential health hazard as waste flows downhill towards base camp and neighboring communities. This extensive littering is seen as nothing short of blasphemy for the Nepalese, who revere Everest as Sagarmatha, or Mother of the World. The pressing concern is the environmental impact, particularly the health risks of overflowing human waste. Number 13. The mystery of Mallerie and Irvine. In the mid-1920s, as the world celebrated exploration milestones, the challenge remained: conquer the third pole, the summit of Mount Everest. A 1924 British expedition aimed to make history. George Lee Mallerie, a renowned rock climber, and Andrew Sandy Irvine, a 22-year-old with no Himalayan experience, stood at the forefront. The climbers grappled with the debate over using supplemental oxygen, deemed by some as unsporting. Yet Mallerie began to see it as the only way to conquer Everest. Irvine, a technical whiz, had created the Mark 5B oxygen apparatus, trimming weight but still carrying about 30 pounds. The unreliable tanks, notorious for leaks, posed a significant challenge. After 2 attempts without oxygen failed, Mallerie decided on a daring final assault. On June 6th, fueled by tinned sardines, they embarked from the North Col at 23,100 feet, aiming for the summit in 3 days. Spotted by geologist Noel Odell on June 8th, Mallerie and Irvine appeared strong, climbing the second step towards the summit. Clouds intervened, and their fate was lost to the mist. A sudden snowstorm followed, covering the slopes. When Odell reached their high camp, he found clues of last-minute adjustments to the oxygen canisters, hinting at a possible delay. With no signs of life, the expedition faced a harsh reality. Mallerie and Irvine were lost. The mystery of their disappearance on Everest remains unsolved, leaving the mountaineering world haunted by the question: did they conquer the summit or succumb to its unforgiving heights? Number 12. The Rainbow Valley. If you thought Mount Everest was all about breathtaking views and conquering the world's highest peak, you're in for a shock. Because we have the Rainbow Valley Everest, the chilling dark side of this majestic mountain. This hidden valley, lying above 8,000 m, conceals a gruesome secret that sends shivers down the spine of climbers and scientists. Contrary to the picturesque image the name evokes, Rainbow Valley is a haunting graveyard for climbers who faced the unforgiving challenges of Everest and lost. Strewn with bodies, colorful jackets, blue, red, orange, and green, cover the fallen adventurers, creating a surreal and eerie landscape. The valley is a final resting place for the unsuccessful and a dumping ground for tents, cans, and oxygen tanks, creating a macabre rainbow of debris. The risks skyrocket as climbers ascend to the infamous death zone above 8,000 m. Thin oxygen levels, brutal weather, and a narrow trail that allows only one body at a time characterize this dangerous zone. Rainbow Valley becomes the final stop for those unfortunate souls pushed off the crowded trail, their bodies preserved in the harsh environment. Recovery of these bodies is nearly impossible, with helicopters rendered ineffective by powerful winds. The cost of retrieving a single body exceeds $70,000, making it a daunting and dangerous task. Money doesn't guarantee recovery. Even experienced climbers risk their lives attempting retrieval. The leading cause of death on Everest lies in the death zone, where oxygen levels are dangerously low, weather conditions brutal, and the narrow trail unforgiving. According to the Himalayan database of 2019, out of nearly 5,000 climbers who reached Everest's summit, 295 have lost their lives since 1924. The death rate, once over 2% in the 1970s to 1980s, has now decreased to 1%, but the challenges and dangers persist. Number 11. Yetis Footprint. In the 1950s, when Mount Everest was still a quiet haven for explorers, English mountaineers Eric Shipton and Dr. Michael Ward stumbled upon a chilling spectacle. While on an expedition to map routes up Everest, they encountered peculiar footprints in the snow of the Menlung Basin, around 16,000 feet above sea level. Forget rulers. The intrepid duo used an ice pick, a backpack, and Ward's boot to measure these prints, revealing a size almost twice that of a human foot. The photographs they captured became legendary, showcasing grotesque toe shapes and a big toe larger and lower than any human would possess. As if that wasn't enough to baffle the mind, how could any creature, Yeti or not, traverse freezing snow without foot protection? Puzzled but determined, The team followed the mysterious footprints for a mile until they camped for the night. Even teammates W.H. Murray and Tom Bourdillon joined in, examining the bizarre prints. Bourdillon, in his diary, acknowledged the odd addition to their expedition, although the prints had distorted somewhat under the sun. Returning to Britain, Shipton's photographs set off a Yeti frenzy, with cryptozoologists, monster hunters, and mountaineers all eager to uncover the truth. However, despite numerous expeditions, not a shred of evidence supporting the Yeti's existence was found. Some skeptics accused Shipton of staging a hoax, but even those who doubted the mythical creature couldn't deny the sheer strangeness of the photographs. The Yeti's footprint remains a mystery, a chilling reminder that the Himalayas hold secrets that defy explanation. Number 10. The Russian Expedition. Before the iconic triumph of Hillary and Tenzing in 1953, a covert Soviet mission had a daring plot to plant statues of Lenin and Stalin on the world's roof. However, the world remained oblivious to their existence, as they mysteriously vanished after reaching the formidable height of 26,000 feet. The Soviet authorities denied their existence, leaving only a subtle hint about their fate in the Alpine Journal's 1953 article by Evgeny Gibbonreiter. For decades, the whereabouts of this enigmatic expedition remained shrouded in mystery until a shocking revelation in 2017. A rescue team, on the quest for a fallen Slovak climber, stumbled upon a frozen tent at the fourth camp, revealing 4 preserved bodies from the ill-fated Soviet venture. Strangely, no official agencies had reported missing climbers that year, and the Nepalese Ministry of Tourism insisted they were from a previous expedition, leaving the questions lingering in thin air. Who were these 4 anonymous souls, and how did they end up in that tent frozen in time? Climbers don't vanish without a trace, and the absence of a search or report adds an extra layer of strangeness to this unsolved Everest mystery. Number 9. The Ghosts of Everest. Mount Everest is notorious for its harsh conditions and has become a haunting ground for tales that send shivers down the spines of even the most seasoned climbers. As rescue missions on Everest are deemed suicidal, stranded hikers face a chilling fate, sometimes succumbing to the elements, transforming the mountain into an open graveyard. Abandoned or frozen corpses litter the snowy slopes, creating an environment where ghost sightings are not just plausible, but inevitable. The mountain itself seems like a canvas for paranormal activity. Among the spine-tingling tales, Sherpa Pemba Dorje 2004 confessed to encountering black shadows during his ascent, describing them as spirits stretching out their hands, begging for sustenance. The thin air and decreased oxygen levels at such altitudes could explain these hallucinations. But what if there's more to these ghostly sightings than meets the eye? We also have the infamous Green Boots, possibly Tsawang Paljor, a landmark on Everest's northeast ridge route. Frozen in death, his body has become a guide for the living, a macabre fixture where climbers pose for pictures. Alongside him, mountaineer David Sharp met his demise, adding another layer to Everest's eerie reputation. The mountain's notoriety for claiming lives is further accentuated by unidentified corpses and mysterious discoveries, like the 4 Russian bodies we spoke about earlier found in a tent in 2017. Are these ghostly sightings mere hallucinations induced by extreme conditions, or is there a supernatural force lingering on Everest's treacherous slopes? Share your thoughts in the comments. Number 8. The Third Man. Among the several strange events of Mount Everest, one peculiar phenomenon stands out: the Third Man of Everest, a mysterious presence that defies scientific explanation. In 1933, British explorer Frank Smith found himself on the cusp of conquering Everest, only to be thwarted by the treacherous conditions just 1,000 feet from the summit. As Smith faced the unforgiving elements, sweeping winds, relentless snow, icy slopes, and the difficult lack of oxygen, his entire party succumbed, retreating from the challenge. Undeterred, Smith pressed on alone, determined to reach the pinnacle. During this solitary ascent, he experienced what scientists now term the third man factor. In his diary, Smith vividly described a sensation of companionship despite being utterly alone. He reached into his pocket to share a piece of Kendall mint cake with an unseen companion, eradicating any sense of loneliness. This mysterious presence, the third man, is said to manifest during moments of extreme stress or life-and-death struggles, providing solace, aid, or support. Renowned writer John Geiger delves into this enigmatic phenomenon in his book, The Third Man Factor: Surviving the Impossible. While spiritual and religious explanations are often attributed to the guardian angel of Everest, Geiger emphasizes the scientific solid underpinnings of the third man. Even skeptics and non-believers have reported similar experiences, attributing them to various explanations. Number 7. The Guardian Angel. This next one is a tale from the 1975 expedition led by Chris Bonington, featuring the daring duo Scott and Dougal Haston. The mission: to conquer Everest the hard way, scaling the southwest face. The clock ticked relentlessly as they ascended, facing obstacles from iced-up oxygen equipment to chest-deep snow. The sun dipped low as it was around 3:30 p.m., and the climbers had just reached the lower south summit. Thirsty and exhausted, they paused to melt snow for a vital drink. The decision was either to forge ahead or make camp for the night. While Haston leans toward rest, Scott, with determination, insists on pushing forward. At around 6 p.m., against the odds, they stand triumphantly at the summit. Exhilarated but now shrouded in darkness, the descent becomes treacherous. Headlamps fail, bottled oxygen is depleted, and the bitter cold sets in. With no option but to endure the night at extreme altitude, Scott and Haston grapple with hallucinations and hypoxia. Having left his down-filled suit behind, Scott faces the biting cold without proper insulation. Amidst the icy blackness, an inexplicable warmth envelops them. A friendly presence, offering guidance and encouragement, fills the void. A guardian angel, perhaps? Or could it be the renowned third man factor experienced by many climbers in dire straits on Everest? Number 6. Maurice Wilson.
Today marks 70 years since Sir Edmund Hillary climbed Mount Everest with Sherpa Tenzing Norgay.
Long before Everest felt the conquering footsteps of Sir Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay in 1953, there was the audacious Maurice Wilson in 1934, whose attempt to summit the world's highest peak was nothing short of madness. A British soldier and aviator with no prior climbing experience, Wilson concocted an eccentric plan to crash-land a plane near Everest's summit and then ascend to the top. Wilson's life journey was marked by adversity. Injured during WWI, he spurned a military pension, his wounds serving as a constant reminder. Inspired by George Mallerie and Andrew Irvine's ill-fated 1924 Everest attempt, Wilson believed divine intervention would guide his ascent, declaring it, "the job I've been given to do." Undeterred by his lack of climbing and flying know-how, Wilson purchased a de Havilland DH-60 Moth named Everest. Despite warnings from his instructor that he'd never reach India, Wilson vowed to make it or die trying. Wilson's journey faced early setbacks with a plane crash, delaying his departure. The Air Ministry got wind of his plan, banning him from flying. Undeterred, Wilson embarked on a clandestine flight, facing further challenges, but miraculously landing in Gwadar, India, where officials seized his plane. Denied entry into Tibet, Wilson spent the winter in Darjeeling, where fate intervened. Meeting 3 Sherpas, Tiwang, Rinzing, and Sering, Wilson found companions for his Everest quest. Disguised as Buddhist monks, they embarked on a 21-day journey to Rongbuk Monastery. Wilson, inexperienced on ice, faced difficulties on the Rongbuk Glacier. Opting against crampons, he battled harsh weather but retreated after a week. Despite setbacks, he made a second attempt with Sherpas Tiwang and Rinzing, reaching Camp 3 below the North Col. Climbing slowly, Wilson reached 6,900 meters, expressing optimism in his diary. Yet on May 31, 1934, he wrote, "Off again, gorgeous day." Days passed with no sign, leading his companions to leave. In 1935, Eric Shipton discovered Wilson's body at the North Col, buried by storms. Number 5. Ueli-Stek. In April 2017, the mountaineering world lost one of its brightest stars, Ueli-Stek, known as the Swiss Machine. Stek, often likened to the Michael Jordan or Usain Bolt of mountaineering, met his tragic end while training for an audacious attempt to conquer Everest's West Ridge and Lhotse in one go. Stek's climbing prowess was unparalleled. With speed records on formidable peaks like the Eiger and Annapurna, he was a technical maestro and had twice received mountaineering's equivalent of a Nobel Prize. His grandiose plan to summit Everest and Lhotse simultaneously didn't seem overly bold for a climber of Steck's caliber. The mishap occurred on the western CWM, a section of the conventional tourist route to Everest's summit. For Steck, ascending this part should have been routine, a mere training exercise for his ambitious Everest-Lhotse conquest. Climbing partner Tenji Sherpa later revealed the shock felt by climbers worldwide upon learning of Steck's death, emphasizing his unmatched prowess and the mountain's mysterious allure. Climbing alone, as was his habit due to the inability of partners to keep pace, Steck's fall occurred more than 300 meters away from the nearest witnesses, leaving the cause shrouded in mystery. Did he slip? Did the snow give way? Or did altitude-related ailments play a role? The Everest community may never know for sure, but the loss of Ueli Steck remains one of the most unfortunate events in Everest's history. Number 4. UFO Sighting. A recent analysis of a 2 billion pixel picture of Mount Everest has stirred a wave of excitement among skywatchers and alien enthusiasts. The intriguing image, meticulously crafted by mountaineer and filmmaker David Breschers, revealed a mysterious black shape hovering in the sky above the Himalayas. Speculations about an extraterrestrial presence arose as observers dismissed the possibility of the object being a mere drone due to its remarkable altitude and the distinct silhouette it cast. The breathtaking 2 billion pixel photo, composed of 477 stitched images, captures astonishing details of the world's tallest mountain, extending from the bustling base camp to the vast expanse of the sky. The photo, created in 2012, has recently sparked renewed interest, with UFO watchdog group UFO Today suggesting the existence of secret underground bases akin to Area 51 in the vicinity of the photo's location. The notoriously inaccessible Ladakh border region between India and China has been a focal point of speculation about such clandestine installations. Adding to the intrigue, declassified files from the previous year disclosed 7 UFO sightings in the Everest region since 1968. Number 3. Shrubs and Grass. In a shocking revelation, the majestic slopes of Mount Everest are experiencing an unexpected invasion, the proliferation of shrubs and grasses, signaling a significant ecological shift. Scientists, already grappling with the rapid heating of the Himalayas, are expressing deep concern about the potential implications for the region's delicate balance. Utilizing advanced satellite data, researchers from Exeter University have identified a surge in vegetation in the sub-nival zone, the highest area where plants can thrive. This unique ecosystem, consisting of grasses and dwarf shrubs, interacts with seasonal snow, covering an area between 5 and 15 times larger than the permanent glaciers and snowfields. The growth of vegetation in this critical region could have far-reaching consequences for the hydraulic stability of the area. Studying images from 1993 to 2018 obtained from NASA's Landsat satellites, the researchers measured the expansion of vegetation across different elevations, ranging from 4,150 to 6,000 meters above sea level. The alarming discovery comes when the melting of Himalayan glaciers has doubled since the turn of the century, losing over a quarter of their ice in the last 4 decades. Climate-induced shifts in vegetation patterns pose a severe risk to the fragile ecosystems of the Himalayas. This unexpected green invasion has scientists questioning the potential consequences for the future of Everest. Number 2. Scariest day at Everest. Climber and environmental geologist Jim Davidson faced the scariest day on Everest in 2015 when a monstrous 7.8 magnitude earthquake rocked the Himalayas. Camp 1 became a battleground as chaos ensued, claiming 18 lives on Everest and nearly 9,000 across Nepal and neighboring countries. This catastrophic event marked the deadliest day in Everest's storied history. Jim Davidson, a Fort Collins, Colorado native, found himself at the disaster's epicenter. His gripping survival story unfolds as he recounts being trapped at Camp 1, enduring the quake and its aftermath. A harrowing 11 days passed before a helicopter rescued him, illustrating the dire circumstances and the mountain's unforgiving nature. In a recent conversation with Jim Davidson, he shared his incredible journey of surviving the earthquake and its resulting avalanche, and summoning the courage to return to Everest. In 2016, just 2 years after the traumatic event, Davidson felt the magnetic pull of Everest once more. Despite the inherent risks and lingering fears, he climbed to the summit, fulfilling a dream that had eluded him during the earthquake. To prepare for his second attempt, Davidson, now in his mid-50s, embarked on a rigorous training routine, dedicating daily hours to conditioning his body. Family discussions, sacrifice of other hobbies, and relentless training became the norm as he approached the Everest challenge. The goal was clear: reach the top of the world. In the summer of 2016, standing on the world's roof, Jim Davidson achieved what many thought impossible. Number 1. Marine fossil. While Everest may be known for its breathtaking altitude, it holds a captivating secret buried deep within its rocky expanse. Around 200 million years ago, a colossal landmass detached from Africa embarked on an extraordinary journey across the Indian Ocean, driven by the forces of plate tectonics. This drifting landmass eventually collided with Asia, creating today's majestic Himalayan range. In its wake, a vast, shallow ocean emerged, teeming with vibrant marine life. The limestone found in Everest's heights bears witness to this prehistoric underwater world. Everest's rocks hold a unique record of the past, composed of fossilized remains from plants and animals that once thrived in the shallow sea. As the landmass continued its northward journey, the ocean drained, and the Himalayas rose to unparalleled heights, leaving behind a trail of ancient marine fossils. The discovery of these marine fossils in 1915 at the mountain's peak provided substantial evidence for the theory of plate tectonics, where vast portions of the Earth's crust move atop molten rock in the Earth's core. This groundbreaking find marked a significant leap in our understanding of Earth's geological history. While science explains the origins of these marine fossils, some still attribute their presence to the biblical flood described in the Book of Genesis. The debate between scientific proof and ancient narratives adds an intriguing layer to Everest's mystique, and that concludes today's list of terrifying discoveries on Mount Everest that scares scientists. If you enjoyed this video, liked it, and shared it with your friends. We've also arranged some others you will surely enjoy on your screen, so enjoy them until we see you in the following video.